Hi everyone, what's up? AB Squad, this is the boy of us. Welcome to the family, welcome to AB React. Guys, I'm back with checking out another of Douglas video. Like a lot of you were saying I should go on to check out another of his videos. So today I'm going to check out this one that has to do with Aljazeera host tries to cancel Douglas Mora about Islam, gets destroyed instead. So guys, you know you're ready to see another of Douglas video. Do well to smash your like button, join our family, join AB React by clicking on your subscribe button and then on the notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I upload a video. If you have recommendation, suggestion, guys, always do well to leave it right there in the comment section. Alright, AB Squad, there is no time to waste. Let's do this, guys.
Right, okay, let's bring in our London guest into the discussion at this point. Do you think this attack will underscore the message of the far right in Europe, at least, of the incompatibility of Islam and the West, or Western values?
That's a pretty atrocious question, if I may say so. We're about 24 hours away from 12 people being gunned down in a newspaper office in the centre of Paris, in a European city, because they offended, allegedly, Islamic blasphemy laws which France, Britain and other European countries do not have and do not believe in and do not follow. And for you to turn the question immediately not on the people who've been massacred because of asserting their rights as European French citizens, but onto the alleged terrible discrimination of the French is really quite despicable.
So I didn't ask you anything about discrimination of the French. Let me repeat the question.
You went straight on to the alleged backlash.
Let me ask you the question again in case you didn't understand it. Do you think this attack, we are in our news bulletins talking in more detail about the actual attack. What you were invited to discuss in this show are the implications of what might follow the attack. Will it underscore the message of those who say there is an incompatibility between Western values and Muslim values?
No, you want to paint the narrative which you think turns immediately not from the attackers, but on the French society, which you would like to portray. I'm giving you my answer, so why don't you listen to it? Which you would like to portray as somehow anti-Muslim or anti-Islamic or anything like this. Let's start from the fact that 12 people were massacred because European citizens asserted their right, which they have every right to do, to draw Muhammad just as they have the right to draw any...
You know, one thing with Douglas is that he will always get you, should I say, he will always get you, like he knows how to answer questions. Like, a lot of it actually been happening with Douglas and this Muslim people. Guys, let me know your own thoughts in the comment section. What do you think?
Any other historical figure, which they believe in or don't believe in, it doesn't matter. They have that right. I don't think at this stage whether, a discussion of the far right in France or anything like that is really the point. The point is people were killed and gunned down for doing their job as journalists and cartoonists in a free society.
Douglas Murray's confrontation with the Aljazeera journalist highlights a critical issue that often gets sidelined in mainstream media discussions: the reluctance to directly address the threat posed by radical Islamist ideologies. In the interview, Murray pointedly critiques the journalist for shifting the focus from the immediate problem of radical Islamic terrorism to the broader and less relevant issue of right-wing extremism. This kind of deflection is not only unhelpful, but also dangerously misleading. In our current media landscape, there is a pervasive fear of offending Muslim communities or being labeled as Islamophobic. This fear often leads to a diluted and indirect discussion of the real and present.
Guys, what is actually happening? Why is it that, a lot of things might actually happen? Just hearing this, the attack that happened that actually killed journalists, like what is actually going on? People go out to do their free will, do out their jobs and end up not coming back to their houses, their respective homes. What's actually happening? Like, I don't really know what's actually happening, because I would say, this Islamic stuff is actually, getting to a point that, people might end up not going out again to their respective places of work. Like, because I don't see a reason why people won't be free to work, and then you go out to work and then you come back. Some go out, some don't come back. Like, what's really going on, guys?
Dangers posed by radical Islam. Murray rightly calls out this tendency, emphasizing that by not addressing the core issue head-on, we do a disservice to the victims of such attacks and fail to confront the ideology that fuels such violence. The crux of Murray's argument is that radical Islamist terrorism is a unique and significant threat that needs to be acknowledged and addressed directly. While right-wing extremism is indeed a concern, it is not the same as the global and organized threat posed by radical Islam. By conflating these issues, journalists and media outlets risk minimizing the specific dangers of Islamist extremism and hinder efforts to combat it effectively. Moreover, this kind of media deflection undermines public trust. When people see journalists avoiding the real issue or downplaying certain threats to avoid controversy, it erodes confidence in the media's ability to report honestly and fairly. Murray's insistence on addressing radical Islamic ideology directly is not about promoting bigotry, but about ensuring that we can have a truthful conversation about one of the most pressing security issues of our time.
Okay, let's try with our guest joining us from France. Perhaps she would like to address the question. Do you think there is a message coming out of this, of the incompatibility of Muslim and Western values? It seems our guest in London doesn't want...
I think at this point it's really necessary to really address this, because I don't think it's safe out there. I don't really think it's safe out there because a lot has been happening, and I think it's high time they acknowledge and address this directly, because this terrorism, this attack everywhere is getting out of hand. I think they really need to address this because no one is safe. Things have been happening in this country, in the world, a lot of things have been happening in the world. So I think it's time they acknowledge and address this. So let's see what this other person has to say.
Tackle that, perhaps you would.
I think that's what the killers would like us to believe. They're French. They were brought up in this country, and they made this choice to become what they've become. They've killed a policeman, for example, who was also from an Algerian background like them, French citizen as well. So I think this is not the issue, and this should never be the issue. This is the issue they want us to address, and they want to make that statement that there is an incompatibility between two worlds. I think they are extremists, and I think we should not let other extremists on the other side who believe that as well, like our extremists here from the right wing or extreme right wing, who believe that there is an incompatibility between an Islamic world and a Western world. I think we should never allow this question to be.
Okay guys, let me ask a quick question. What do you actually think Katrina said? Does she make a point, or do you actually agree with what she says? Let me know in your comment section. Let me know, because she's actually saying that should not be a problem. That should not be the reason why we are concluding about this whole Islamic stuff. That there are a lot of things they need to address. So guys, let me know your own thoughts in the comment section.
Good. All right, thank you very much. Douglas in London. No doubt there will be a lot of thought as to how policy should proceed going forward. What do you think the policy should be? What are the practical policy lessons learned from this attack?
Well, there are no practical policy lessons learned. People are still mourning the dead and identifying bodies. The thing that is going to happen in the weeks and days ahead is that people are going to have a set of questions. First will be obvious security questions, simply about how it was that two people were able to go into the office in Paris with Kalashnikovs and gun people down in cold blood. That will certainly be a part of it. There's a technical security discussion to be had. There's also a discussion about wider society and what its reaction should be and all that sort of thing. But really the most febrile and important discussion at the moment is the one that the Free Press is having across Europe, which is whether or not they will stand up.
I think this is really bad. I really want to sympathize with all those families, all those people who actually lost their loved one, because it's so heartbreaking. Maybe waking up in the morning and then you saw your loved one, you saw your friend, you saw your family member leaving to work or leaving to where they normally go to, and then you end up hearing that a particular place, like a particular gathering, was being bombed, was being attacked by some unknown gunmen and some things like that, and then it's so heartbreaking.
Up and retain the right to do what we in Europe and free peoples have the right to do, which is to draw what we like. And the key message from this really can't be emphasized enough, because you know, your guest in Doha is a cartoonist. He knows very well that he can't draw a cartoon of Muhammad there. Even if he wanted to, he wouldn't, because his life would be a great risk.
I wouldn't do that
you
anyway,
wouldn't do
sir.
it.
No.
And one of the reasons, you wouldn't do it. Okay, maybe it's not just because. Can I just finish my point?
Okay, finish
One
your
of the
point, then we'll give
reasons,
Khalid a chance.
if you are a Muslim, you may decide not to do that. However, in countries like Britain and France, most of us are not Muslims. We do not believe in Muhammad as the founder of any faith that we follow. People are Christians, atheists, all sorts of things. You cannot expect, and this is a crucial thing, Muslims should not expect non-Muslims to abide by their own belief systems.
I think Douglas has a very good point. He has made a very vital point. I think at some point, it's not really necessary, it's not force stomping that you need to maybe make someone to believe, like when I mean make someone, a non-Muslim, to believe the rules or maybe the whole thing that has to do with Muslim. Is not by force. They have to believe in whatever the Muslim believes.
You can yourself decide. You as a Muslim do not want to depict Muhammad, but the idea that is coming along in Europe at the moment is a growing idea that people who are not Muslims, who do not believe in Muhammad, who do not follow Islam, are also to be have to obey the rules of Islamic blasphemy. And
right.
in Europe
okay,
at the moment,
okay.
that is the big debate.
You made that point, Douglas.
I completely agree with Douglas Murray on this one. It is unreasonable to expect non-Muslims.
This is very, very ridiculous. Like, how do you expect a non-Muslim to act and role in the Muslim doctrine? Like, I mean, how do you expect a non-Muslim to do that? Like, I really, really agree with him on this one.
To conform to Islamic standards of behavior, particularly regarding issues like the ridicule of religious figures or criticism of religious doctrines. Freedom of speech, including the right to criticize and satirize, is a fundamental right in Western democracies. This right is essential for the health of any free society because it allows for open debate and the questioning of ideas, which are crucial for progress and enlightenment. By insisting that non-Muslims refrain from any form of criticism or ridicule of Islam or the Prophet Muhammad, there is a risk of undermining these essential freedoms. Murray's point is that while mutual respect is important, it cannot come at the cost of sacrificing the fundamental freedoms that define Western civilization. In a pluralistic society, no single religious or ideological group can have a monopoly on what is considered acceptable discourse. Moreover, Murray suggests that this expectation of conformity to Islamic standards is not only unrealistic, but also counterproductive. It can lead to resentment and a sense of injustice among non-Muslims who feel their own rights are being curtailed.
Guys, you see what I said? Freedom of speech. Like this also boils down to what I said earlier, that it has to be the freedom, it has to be the ideology, it has to be the people. You can't just force people, you can't just come out to make people to believe in what they are not meant to believe.
Murray also touches on the broader issue of how society should handle offensive speech. In Western tradition, the response to offensive speech is not violence or censorship, but more speech. This means countering ideas with better ideas, engaging in debate, and using the power of persuasion rather than coercion. This approach not only preserves individual freedoms, but also fosters a more robust and resilient public discourse. It's about upholding the principles of free speech and ensuring that no group can impose its religious or ideological norms on the wider society. This is not about promoting disrespect or intolerance, but about defending the freedoms that allow diverse societies to thrive.
Alright, Abisco, let me know what you think about that video. Like, I mean, it's really a sad thing, it's really being a sad thing hearing or listening or watching this video, because I think it has come to a point that, things have to be, readjusted, because this is getting out of hand. Like I said earlier, going out and then coming back not seeing your maybe loved ones, or it is really bad. It's really sad. So guys, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. If you really enjoyed this video as much as I did, do also smash the like button, join your family, join every react by clicking on your subscribe button and then on your notification bell so you don't miss out on a video. If you have recommendations, suggestion, guys, always do to leave it right there in the comment section. Alright, everyone, I can't wait to see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed, don't go away, don't touch that dial. Bye guys.